It's on. I gotta tighten the top. Yeah. You guys too will look this good doing it yourself. Whew. Who's beeping? Oh, freaking awkward turtle. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Behind me, a 1978 fuel-injected Super Beetle. Yes, this car I have worked on in the past, probably about 2 years ago at this point. Got it back from the dead. It was sitting for, I can't remember how long, a couple of years or whatever. Got it running and driving, and gave it back, obviously the owner. Fast forward 2 years later, now, well, it doesn't run currently. I did do a little off-camera troubleshooting just when it first arrived here. You've probably seen it if you've been watching a couple of these videos, just sitting in the background. It's just basically been hanging out till, I can get it here to do things. But I think I know what's wrong with it, and we'll troubleshoot this one together. If it's what I think it is, it will be a quick fix. Also, for a treat especial round number 2, if you will. I don't know how I'm even recording this because, do a different kind of intro. Another drop top, 1968 Beetle, red. What we're doing with this one is it's going to be actually a really quick, simple in and out job. I'm hoping the 78 simple. So both these will be in this video. If not, the developments happened, and well, guess what? This will have its own episode, or you might not see it ever again because of the intro. All we're doing with this is putting rear shocks on. I know. Owner has coilovers on the back. If you watch the other red or maroonish Super Beetle, I did put them on a lowered suspension, but I had to modify it. The owner wants the rear end to sit lower. Well, the coilovers gave it about an inch or 2.5 inch rise. Going back to factory ride height, so 2 new shocks. Put it back in factory ride height, and he'll be happy with the ride, so that no spinning torsion bars or anything like that. So this one, it's gonna be quick in and out. But first, let's work on the 78 because it's been here the longest, and I'm hoping no developments happen on this, and it's gonna be a quick, I don't know, probably hour total to fix this one. But, all right, join me in the back of the 78. All right, guys, yeah, we're working on the floor on this one. A, because the car doesn't run, obviously, and I don't feel like pushing it and turning it around. Plus, I'm hoping what I think is wrong with it is going to be a simple-ish fix. Full disclosure, I did do a little bit of testing on it beforehand, so I think I know the direction it's going to go. I think I said, I'm not really sure, but I did do nice fresh oil. I did bring this car back to life before I started doing the whole YouTube thing. It was actually one of my first cars in this new shop. So kind of have a little idea of it. It's not completely new to me. But with that said, let me show you the little testing I did. I think we just lost spark. I'm hoping that's what we did, or what this car did. If you didn't know, in like Type 3 that I did, it's a completely different fuel injection system. This is dumber. For, I guess, lack of better terms, at least the ignition side is. It's a standard distributor. Dual vacuum advanced, standard distributor. It doesn't have the extra injector pulsers on the bottom, so on and so forth. So it's triggered, crank sensor and all that stuff. So what I'm hoping is, I'll show you how I tested spark real quick. I mean, it's pretty, simple. It's the same way of static timing, because I say that if this light lights up, it means it's sending signal to spark. Well, in my quick diagnosing, I couldn't get my test light to light. Therefore, I'm just assuming that there's not going to be any spark. Turn the key on. Keys on. Just double check that that is a good ground. You know, because convenient. Lights up, perfect. So, right now, come on, coil. Negative side of the coil, like we were static timing it, but what I'm gonna do is, I'll show you the rotor button. Click, click. I'm already, well, I thought I was. That's TDC. I might, you gotta take my word for it. The points are opening and closing. They're open right now, they're closed. Open, close. That light should be tripping as I do this. It is not. So that is telling me we either have A, bad coil, bad condenser, or bad points. So what I'm gonna do is replace all three. You know, we're gonna put a new coil in because this is original. And I'm gonna swap it to an electronic ignition. All right, got the parts right here. Let me turn off the key and start ripping this thing apart. Hopefully this is gonna solve it. I'll be back. All right, first thing, get the rotor out of the way. That still looks good, so not gonna change it. Good thing about Vacuum Advance, all the stuff's in the front. It's not like the 009s where the coil or the condenser's in the rear. But first thing I'm gonna do, get the, God, man, that point's tight. Get the points out. Let's get them out of the way, because we'll convert this thing first to electronic. Those points look fairly new as well. Can't remember if I changed them or not. To be honest with you, I think I looked at the invoice and worked on this thing like 2 years ago. So brought it back, you know, metaphorically from the dead 2 years ago, and it's now, you know, having issues. Punch out the condenser holder on her. There's a screw back there, but you can usually just force these things out. Usually, except this one doesn't want to cooperate. Because the condenser is no longer needed, obviously. So, that, unscrew this, get the condenser out of the way. Vacuum Advances, make sure you put that screw back in, just because the vacuum can is held on by it. All right, negative side of the coil. Unplug this. Condenser looks new too. Like I said, it's been 2 years. I know it came in for a revival. Not 100% sure really what I did. Shop was just pretty much getting started in invoicing systems. You know, excuses. New style. The ones with the little rotor on them that sit on top, they will work for Vacuum Advance. If you have the ones that have the little donut that goes around, they do not. So be a little leery about what you guys order. These are my favorite anyway. I put them in everything. So you have your reluctor wheel with the magnets, and your, come on, pickup. There's a spider on the floor. That is awesome. Yeah. And your pickup. Somehow that managed to get right in there. Awesome. Get out. You don't live in there. All right, I put these in plenty of times, but I'll show you guys obviously again. Little pickup just slots right into the distributor. Right where the old points plate used to be. There's a little indent or notch. Make sure it's seated, tighten it down. With the supplied Allen wrench. The other thing I do like about these reluctor wheel style is they, what was I gonna say? They will static. The donuts and like the Patronic style, they don't static time. Take your wires, shove them through that little back hole. The lights either usually are always on or always off, but when you start it, they work. So, I mean, it's weird. I just had one of my old customers call me and ask me about that, saying he couldn't static time and then said he had a Patronic system. All right, throw the wires through. Come on. I'm hoping this fixes it, otherwise we are going into a lot more diagnosing. And unlike the Type 3 that was on my channel, fuel injected, I am, believe it or not, that versed in the fuel injected Beetles. I know, simmer down. Scary. Me, not versed in something, it seems like I know everything with these cars. But usually, by the time I get my hands on an injected bug, or I will say what was an injected bug, they've already been converted to carburetors. All right. Get this grommet through. Boops. Boops. Careful poking because you don't want to obviously catch a wire. Come on. You through? Nope. There we go. All right, electrical power grounds through. That'll go to your coil, obviously, the two wires. Next, your reluctor wheel. That just sits right on top, like so. Let's pull this coil off. Because like I said, it could still be good, but I think I'm fighting a spark issue, so I'm gonna change it. Like anything held on by 210s, you get it out of the way. Flathead on the side. Loosen that. Slide the coil out. Come on, you have room. And that one, what was that? It was negative. Yeah, it's the original Bosch. Hello, been trying to reach you about your extended warranty. We're gonna have to get another one of those put on there. But all right, so new coil. Tech tip, just, I don't know if you guys will follow it or not. On the front of the coil, label positive and negative, because when it's installed upside down or right side up, or mainly upside down in Volkswagens, you can't see which is which. So, Speaking of which, I goofed. Yeah, positive was that side. Okie dokie. And that's why we double and triple check. All right, put a new coil in. Oh, you're a beefy girl. All right, put this thing back on. Come on. All right, one, it's loosely tight. Get this other one in. This is positive. Yeah, I am. Positive. Let me grab a chair terminal for the positive. Let's go into the coil now, or to the ignition. Because I need another leg. Slide that guy on. Put that on. Wires from the electronic. Hot goes to the positive side. Black goes to the negative side. Boink, boink. Make sure we have spark, and I'll clean up all these wires, obviously. I really don't need to plug this in because it's not going to spark, but it's going to send a signal. Why? Look like someone was chewing on this. All right, let's plug it in. All right, same test as before. Let's get on the negative side of the coil. Throw this guy in. And let me turn the key and rotate the crank. Hopefully, with any luck, this light's gonna light up when I hit right, time for it to fire. Boom. We have a light. That's awesome. So I guess what I'm going to do now, while it's the same scene, put that on, put the rotor and the cap on. Let's twist this thing off and see if she actually just fires up. Simplest fix I've had so far. Let's go up a little bit. Whee! All right, she's running. I got to put the airbox back on. I took that off, but yeah, pretty simple fix. Gonna take it out on the road because I know. Well, let me shut it off. What lights do I have? Generator and EGR. All right, those went off. Try another fire up. Like it's supposed to. All right, quick simple fix. Like I said, I knew the car a bit and kind of knew where I was gonna go. I knew it already has a new fuel pump in it and so on and so forth. But next thing, let me button up this, clean up the wires some so that they're not like all just there. Airbox, and we'll take it for a quick rip and see if there's anything else that pops to mind that needs to be done. Also, I want to check the timing now that it's non-points and just make sure nothing moved for any odd, weird reason. But hopefully this was just a quick fix and it's done. But stay tuned to the next scene of whatever I'm gonna ramble on now. But yeah, not too bad of a fix. All right, guys, spun the 69 around and jacked it up. We're gonna do all this on the ground because, you know, hopefully it doesn't go that slowly. First thing I'm gonna do is disconnect the shocks because I'm so graceful. I'm gonna try, well, number one, I'm gonna try, it should be possible to disco this thing from it being in the air without taking off the wheels, because that's obviously what I'm trying to do currently. I did disconnect the bottom already, so full disclosure on that. Only reason that's disconnected is because I had to show the owner what the factory ride height would look like in comparison to what he has now. So he was fine with it, obviously, so that's what we're doing. But yeah, you got two 19s on the, or 19 bolt on the bottom, 19 bolt on the top. I mean, you've seen me take shocks off before. But yeah, obviously the other Super I did. The rear end of these Beetles, like I said, this one's a standard, but the rear end of the Super is exactly the same as this. So you got a bolt on the bottom, bolt on the top, and just pull. There you go. One coil over. Grab the other one, or the new one. And the nut and bolt for that. And we'll put this in. Dink. Oh, suspension cup, where are you? All right. What are you doing? Okay, come on. Man. I'm trying to teach him how to do suspension, and it's like I forgot. What are you? Why? Just, this is just not going well already. This is supposed to be the easy thing. There we go. Excuse me. And, you know, installation is same as uninstallation. Align the top, make sure your bottom is in the perch down there, and attach. Let me get the other side off. And I can awkwardly roll on the ground at one time, sort of. This is a pretty nice car. There's a bunch of stuff on it that I like. Just talking to the gentleman, he is an older Volkswagen guy. He's very knowledgeable. So it's always nice having, you know, knowledgeable customers, at least, you know, in the shop, especially when they're, you know their vehicle. And I mean, you know their vehicle, not know their vehicle. Like your gas gauge on anyone who drives long distance. So that's a plus. This car's pretty nice. Turning it around, the clutch is really funky. It feels like it's a stage something. It's very springy. I really don't know how to describe it. And this is literally coming from a video of doing a clutch. I'm not saying this one's bad, it's just weird. Other one. All right, let me grab a shot. Oh, they have been on there for a while. They look like they were new, or already rusting. Not saying that doesn't mean they're, you know, new. It's just saying that I thought they were just put on. Put this thing on, and then I'll crawl around on the ground, you know, looking very, very sexy in all my man poses to install them or finish installing them. Are you in a cup? Yes. If you want to see how to do this in the air and not just, you know, the feet of me, the 72 Super, watch that video. I'm putting the coilovers on, but it's the same concept. All right, let me just knock out the other side. I'm sure you don't want to see that awesomeness again, but let me knock out this other side and I'll lower the car and yeah, get back to you. So, whatever, you know, hasn't taken that long so far, but I'll be back. Yeah, I'm just rambling. I mean, wasn't like I said, I wasn't even going to cover the car, but you know, it's in the shop. The 78, you know, if it cooperates, well, it is cooperating. At this point, I feel I'm gonna have a short video on that car total. And well, I knew this car was gonna come out to, you know, after editing 10 minutes and I wasn't gonna rack it. So you just see this part of it. It's like a filler blooper reel, I guess is what I'm getting at. So let me button up this side and then, yeah, we'll lower it and call this one hopefully done because I'm not doing anything else to it as far as I know. I'll be back with a ramble. Okie dokie. Rears are on. There's my flashlight. That would have been helpful if I remembered I put it there. Anyway, rears are on. Let's lower this thing down. Boop. Give it a little bit of a roll to settle the suspension. There we go. And yeah, down 2 inches. 2.5 inches. That's it. That was easy enough. And I'll take you on a side shot. It's really crappy out today. So door shut obviously, but I'll roll it out. But yeah, fender well gap, hard to see. Much more gooder now instead of, you know, sitting huge. Did also recommend him to go on a bigger profile tire in the front to level the ride height or level the ride to make it look better. If I show, well, I'll probably show you it outside because I think we're going to take that one for a test drive tomorrow. Still got to do a little odds and ends on it. But yeah, I'll show you what I'm talking about. But yeah, I think it's much better ride height instead of being up 2.5 inches looking like a dragster. So with that said, let's move back to the 78 and let me get it set up for a test drive and make sure the nothing else is wrong with it or the repair wasn't a fluke, I guess is what I'm getting at. Make sure it still drives right because if it's done, it's done. But the owner's wife drives it and he wants to make sure it's as reliable as possible. So I will gladly take it out for a ride. You know, not saying it's going to break down with me, just in a short test drive, but I want to make sure that brakes, clutch, so on and so forth, everything's working properly for her. So join me hopefully inside the car of the 78 and we'll take it for a little rip. Let's see if she still starts. I hope so. Oh, I still got to put the airbox back on. Like it's its job. Perfect. All right. Hopefully you join me for a road test with this bad boy. So stay tuned. I will be back. But 69 is done. Unfortunately, don't want to drive it. Yeah, because I like driving everything. But there's no need for me to drive that one. I just did rear suspension. It made it here. He didn't complain about anything. I'm going to check the timing. Just make sure everything, you know, just give it a general look over. Make sure I don't see anything. But other than that, it's done. So you'll join me hopefully next scene unless developments happen in that bad boy. I'll tell you right now, it is sluggish. I'll double check the timing. throttle's gonna have to be brought up some. Come on, drive, people. Yeah, gonna have to bring up the idle some. Check that timing. Well, check the timing first, then bring up the idle. Yeah, because it's not wanting to even get out of its own way. So, timing, check the idle. Looks like it's way too far advanced. Not sure. We'll test it. Weird. I don't ever remember this car doing this. Dude, you going? It's a fucking green. Yeah, let's get it back in the shop. I'll adjust the idle. I'll adjust the timing. Heat works nice. All right, back in the shop, obviously. Yeah, I don't know. Just down on power, so I'm going to check the timing first. And maybe the cat's clogged. Because it's... I don't know if you'll be able to see my foot. I'm just kind of pointing. That is super delayed on throttle response. So let me dig into it and see what's going on, because I'm not happy with this right now. Because I know it didn't run like this when I gave it back, I guess, the first time, lack of better terms. So let me dive in. You'll see me on a big camera for diagnosing, I guess. Well, developments have happened, and I think I lost spark again somehow. So, we're going to do the same thing we did beforehand to test for spark. That just makes no sense. That's not one. Yeah, my timing gun set up, you know, so on and so forth. Cranked it over and, well, nothing. So let's do this exact same thing again. It's like deja vu. It goes there. Let it go on the negative. I've had these things go bad before, but I mean, rarely. No, there's a light. All right, so it's not spark. Now what happened? Lose fuel somehow? Oil's not hot. Everything's connected. Let me try to start it again. That was weird. Fuel issue? Literally just got back from a test drive. Like, what is going on? Oops. Is it a fueling issue? What the heck is going on? All right, I'm confused. and puzzled. Certainly that coil didn't take a poop. What the heck just happened? I am utterly confused. All right. I think I've stated this distributor is a dumb distributor. It doesn't have anything else other than that. It's sending signal to the coil, but it's not hitting off of anything else. Oh, what the hell is that? I'm hoping this was the issue. The HT lead literally just blew up. Well, do I have another one? It's new. Yeah, I should. All right. All right, got a brand new one. Shove this on. See if this works. One end. Come on. Jiggle. Boot. What the heck? Why am I not having any luck with things today? It's just an HT lead. All right, put this side in first. Distributor cap side. In. Coil side. In. There we go. All right. Let's try that. I'm hoping that was just it. Like I said, I just drove. Maybe the runnability issue fixes itself too. I don't know. Nada. All right. So that was not it. Crap for the second time. What is going on? It literally, what puzzles me the most is it literally just drove here. It's sending signal. It has 12 volts. And it just decided, you know, nah, I don't feel like working. Why? All right, here's where I'm at. Absolutely no further than when I left you the last time. I did confirm there is spark. So let me try to get fuel more into the engine. I'll pull off one of these lines. And hopefully get fuel in this way. You know what? Oh, you have to get a screwdriver. I'll blow the boot off. Ugh. I mean, it's wet in there. It should fire. Slide that boot on. Did it flood? I have no idea. Let me check a few more things, but it should at least light off because it's getting spark. I guess let me double confirm spark, but oh boy. I knew this car was going too easy. You can hear it, it's trying. Did it flood out? Let me tighten that boot. And if it did, why? Why did it flood? It is trying. This is all I got. What the heck? All right, that's about half throttle to keep it idling. Any more of that, she just conks out. What just went weird? All right, give me a minute to ponder. Because I am not quite sure. Let's static time this distributor. Make sure I'm number one. Nope. 180 out. What? I don't know what happened. That's number one. I don't think it's the distributor. Let's be honest with you on that one. I backed it off some to where I think 7.5 would be. I don't know if you hear that click in my mic, but that is it supposedly firing. All right, I did have to twist it, but see if that makes any difference. Never had something about that minor out of time do this. You've got to be kidding me. It's frickin' singing right now. Hey, focus. Thank you. Anywho, I gotta look where I'm walking. I don't know what that was about. never had something like that happen. But I don't. You guys saw it with me. It just didn't run. And I took a test drive, and then it didn't run. And all I did was HT lead. Maybe that helped flood it some. I don't know. But I was half throttle, and the thing wouldn't even respond. What in the world? Now it's fine. Sounds great. Oh, I'm fat. Let's go around. Somehow I fit that way, and then now I don't fit. So yeah, I guess we'll take it out on another rip. I'm waiting on a customer pickup. Well, that red Beetle. So yeah, once he leaves, we'll go on the road. So I'm not jockeying cars so much. What the? Mind is bottled. Weird, so weird. All right, next scene, hopefully driving. Ooh, I got the hiccups. All right, guys, this is the next scene, but not driving, obviously. Give you a little red car, doors open. It's a very clean 69. Absolutely great condition. I don't know how well you can see in here, but it's good. The only thing I told the owner, the only thing that's weird about it is the clutch. Feels like it's a stage 900. But yeah, it's a pretty cherry ride. But yeah, the clutch feels like it's, you're shifting or depressing an 18-wheeler. Oh, and the other thing I got to tell him, I didn't do, if it comes back, or he does most of his maintenance is what I'm gathering. I tell everybody, fuel filter, and tell them to get rid of that. If there's one thing I complained about, or I'm good about complaining about, is Super Beetle front brakes and fuel filters in the engine bay. But with that said, that car's done, it's wrapped up. It's simple. I just did the suspension on it, or just put shocks in. This thing, we'll go on a test drive next, once that one leaves. I'm still trying to wrap my head around what the hell just happened. Well, all right, guys, because it is semi-quiet in here, hopefully you can hear audio. I mean, stock exhaust, stock 1600. It is a dramatic improvement right now. I mean, night and day. You wouldn't even think I was in actually the same car. Blows my mind that timing has been that far off. Now, granted, it was points, and they could have been huge. So when it put the electronic in, it, went back to its dwell. They usually dwell at, because you can check an electronic if you didn't know. Went back to its dwell of 50, and everything's happy. But it's so weird that it didn't want to start. Sounds like it's idling a little high. I want to get it warm. Like I said, I'm not very familiar with these fuel-y engines. The Type 3s, yeah, the pancakes or whatever, air-cooled. Uprights, not so much. But yeah, right now it's dramatic difference. I'm going to drive it like I did the other day, probably put a little more mileage on it because I feel a little comfortable, and see if I can't see nothing out this, and see if the see if she'll hot start, and make sure she runs good. But yeah, so far, I mean, first gear's fine, second gear's fine. I'm pretty sure they'll take off in second. I mean, none of that weird bog in that first video, or, none of the weird bog that I had in that first clip of the initial test drive of just getting this thing back running. So, and other than changing the timing, I didn't do anything. So I don't know if maybe I might have had a restriction. I don't know. Something sorted itself out. But it's sounding good, running healthy. Like I said, I want to get this thing hot and drop the idle some. I don't know how well it picks up, but it's a little high. It still has a Super Beetle, fuck yeah. Oh, hello, microphone. Little bouncy. I need to get a. Come on. I need to get a better place to hang that mic. What was I gonna say? Still, I mean, this car is completely stock. Suspension, so on and so forth. Nothing's really tired. This heat is really working well. Nothing's really tired on it, but still has a Super Beetle dart. I mean, they are darty cars. Granted, you know, standard's darty too, but something about Super Beetles, they just feel more sketch. Maybe it's because you're riding like a monster truck. I don't know. But I also barely fit in this car. I just drove a convertible. Why am I? The seats, are they that high? Yeah, I changed out the seats in the red car. But yeah, I'm aggressively taller than this thing. I feel like Magnum PI. But trans is good, clutch is great, engine's holding in there. Yeah, this is definitely night and day from the original test drive. This is definitely night and day from the original test drive as far as power, you know, doing things. Completely different. Running good, sounds healthy, shifts fine. Like I said, it's probably going to need a brake service in upcoming for upcoming driving season, just due to the fact that when it sits, they're really squeaky. And like I said, this e-brake, man, it's, you know, you just yank it. It does still do stuff, but this thing's been a treat and delight to drive, a treat and delight to drive. Race car. It's quiet, it performs. The speedo really goes to 100. They are very optimistic. We're gonna head back to the shop. I'll wrap all this stuff on the big cam, but yeah, everything's working as it should. It's idling nicely. It lugs pretty good. Clutch is good. Brakes are good. I'll cover it all. Hopefully, like I said, I don't know how the audio is currently, but hopefully with better, you know, better sound quality. All right, guys, we're back in the shop. Yes, 78 performed amazingly well. Still boggles my mind as far as that timing, doing what that timing did. I think I said maybe rotated the distributor about 1/8 of an inch, give or take, maybe a quarter. But it runs now better than it, well, did in the previous clip. I guess what I'm getting at is I'm happy I test drive things. I just didn't get it running and, you know, shoo it on out. But yes, this car is done. Owner will be happy with it, I hope. It's going to need brakes in the future. They get a little squeaky and squealy and a little pulley when the when you first take off, and then they sort themselves out. But other than that, everything else on this car is, you know, up to at least my standards, whatever they might be. But, you know, it's good to go. I do this a lot with my hands. Anywho's, this car's done. Owner's going to pick it up. Hopefully be able to enjoy it. I mean, we're getting into winter, so I don't know how much they're going to drive it. But I'm going to tell them next season, you know, let's do brakes. But anyway, if you did like this video, however it turned out, like I always say, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. If you do, promise you, we will chit chat. As always, thanks for watching, and hopefully see you on the next one. Also, share this with your friends. Let's get to 1,000. A little bit antsy.